Hey guys, you're watching Daniel and Gian Talk, and today we're going to be doing a full review of Zindagi na Milegi Dobara. This is the first Blu-ray that has ever been purchased by the Daniel and Gian crew. Normally we watch things on streaming, but Daniel found this in you found it in a Goodwill?
Which is, for those who don't know, like a secondhand thrift store. Yeah. Which apparently I guess is not that common, like outside of the States.
Oh, this is a Western thing.
Because we have so much excess that we have the ability to have like a secondhand store.
Maybe the places where people donate, they're actually donated
to real places
and
that
it's not
being utilized as like a way to make money.
Yeah, exactly.
Off of people's donations.
Yeah. Maybe that's the difference.
So it's a story about three friends who made a promise in their college years, I guess, or earlier than when the story takes place, that one of them were to get married, that they'd have this
big, huge bachelor party type
basically
thing. Yeah.
Where they all agreed they would do individual things and not let each other know, as kind of like a last hurrah of
right.
Solidarity before, you enter the married life and
right, you enter the prison of marriage.
Yeah.
This film is an anti-marriage film.
I mean, not really.
Not really.
I mean,
kinda, but not really.
Kinda. It's anti-marriage for the wrong reasons.
Well, it's anti-traditional marriage, really.
Yeah, for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. Let's talk about the good things.
Good things. No music for the first hour and a half. No theatrical performances. And even when they came, they sort of fit what was going on.
Yeah.
Didn't feel out of place. So it was an Indian film through and through. But at the same time, the director, the writer, they both took the story seriously to make sure we had all the characters like a foundation before we even remotely start to even play with the idea of we're just going to start breaking into song and dance. The way the editing, I thought visually it looked great. I mean, the way there's a skydiving scene, I thought the skydiving scene was great.
The diving
underwater
scene
looked
the
great.
Scuba scene, yeah.
This is the first time Hrithik didn't feel like I need to be head honcho. I could relate to his character more than anybody.
It was a grounded performance. There was things about this film that kind of reminded me of Three Idiots. It was like Three Idiots after college.
It was this was like...
But we didn't see the flashback.
If Three Idiots was for kids, which I think it is, I really do, this is for the young adult, teenage crowd.
Right.
Obviously adults can still enjoy both a kid movie and this type of movie. But yeah. I think this is a good... I don't know. I liked it.
And
the characters were positive.
The characters were more grounded as well. There was no fantasy really going on. There wasn't really any situation that was so ridiculous where you're okay, we're just doing this.
And even the ridiculous stuff was
it was contained.
Like the skydiving scene. I don't know. Maybe Spain's different. I don't know. Or maybe they just. But here in the States, you can't skydive for the first time by yourself.
Right. You need someone. You need to be strapped. Someone needs to be strapped to your ass.
And that's not what was going on.
Yeah.
They were just jumping willingly.
Right.
They did a training session, which was actually interesting because in any skydiving movie, I've never seen them do a boot camp. It was a 5-minute montage boot camp where they're practicing how to do it. And
what are you talking about, man? Drop Zone?
I've never even... Is that a movie?
Yeah.
I've never
you ever seen Drop Zone?
No. I don't even know what that is. I'm assuming it came out in the 80s.
No, it was late 90s, early 2000s.
Oh.
It was an action movie where these feds had to learn how to skydive.
The most recent skydive was...
I think Wesley Snipes was in it. I might be wrong.
It was Iron Man 3. Had some skydiving.
Okay.
And the remake of Catherine Bigelow's movie.
Oh, yeah.
The whatever.
One of my favorites.
I forget what it's called.
Point Break.
Yeah. The remake of that. They had skydiving.
Remake, not one of my favorite.
And then Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
Where people aren't skydiving, cars are skydiving.
Yes.
So
I got parachutes, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so did the people. Let's go to the skydivers. But the way they shot that was cool. It was no green screen, no anything. I don't know if they were actually skydiving by themselves, but somebody was. And then the camera guy was clearly skydiving with them. So, I mean, I'm a fan of that. Just practical. Besides cinematography, I thought all the performances were fine. They were all believable. At the end of the day, it's all about them.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's about them. It's about overcoming your fears. It's about, I mean, really, I personally think and they kind of allude to it at the end. I think the movie's about dying. I really do. Because each one of their crazy things, with the exception of the tomato fighting thing, they could all die. You can die by drowning underwater. You can die by...
Well, I think you mean The movie's about taking risks.
No, it's about conquering your fears, but each of their situations can result in their deaths. You can die by drowning, you could die by not having a parachute, literally jumping out of a plane,
right.
and then getting gored by a bull. Those are all, and I think the best thing about those is each one of those things, if you were to just do it, like I was thinking the whole time, like, yeah, fuck, this probably did spawn a movement of like people who were just, let's go do those 3 things.
Right.
Because if you were to do each one of those things, I'm sure it would just change your perspective on life.
Yeah.
Maybe not the diving so much, but jumping out of a
well,
fucking plane.
The diving was a factor because he didn't know how to swim.
Yeah,
that's
why.
Afraid.
No, I'm not shitting on the movie. I'm just
saying.
No.
Like, yeah.
You can go, but I mean, who knows if you don't know how to swim and you go underwater for that long.
Right.
But jumping out of a plane definitely.
But it's risk taking because it's living life to its fullest, you know. Because if you don't,
as the title translates to, if you didn't know, it's like
Zindagi means life, I believe, right?
You don't get, basically it's like it's essentially saying YOLO.
You only live once.
But it has something to do with like you don't get a second life or something like that.
How like hilarious would it be if Drake was right here, like just in the background?
Dude, they could remake this movie with
Drake
as like a producer, like
in a
somehow,
wheelchair.
Something. Oh, what is this? Is that was in Degrassi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wheelchair Jimmy.
Yeah, I didn't. But no, I just love the movie. Like I'm proud to own this movie. Like when the movie was done, I'm like, I'm glad I have this on Blu-ray.
Right.
Like I thought it was it's a great movie.
The only thing that bothered me that kind of sticks out was the conflict between Imran and Arjun.
Well, because he slept with the girl's wife.
Well, because he was just trying to be so casual about it and like, hey, it's no big deal, bro. It just happened, man. We were in love, dude. Like, get over it. Like, you know.
Yeah, but
it was 4 years ago, and it's like, oh, hey, but let's take a step back here. 4 years ago?
They definitely brushed over it.
Yeah.
And it never factored into the overall story.
Yeah,
but I don't know if that bothered me. But I will say, based on that, I don't know even why it was there in the first place.
Right, exactly.
You could have just not had that character.
Because it never really got resolved. I mean, they wanted a reason for them to not like each other or not get along, or for Arjun not to like him and keep being a dick to him.
And they did establish that, but I mean.
Right, but then.
Yeah, because I guess Imran was like continuing to flirt.
Yeah.
With these girls and like put like haha like I'm gonna sit in the back.
Kept pushing the buttons.
But it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. It was making Hrithik's character seem like a dick, and then when we find out why, it's it makes sense. But then it's kind of brushed over it.
You just take that bit out when they're like when he slept with his girl.
Yeah.
And you have him still like competing. Then it's
exactly.
Light, it's fun. Like you're not gonna get this girl. Whatever. It didn't ever put Kabir in a situation where it was like, oh, I'm gonna bang another woman.
Right.
I'm gonna cheat on.
It kept it innocent.
Yeah.
Even after we get that little tidbit at the beginning, where
it kept it pure,
where he gets the dude to like admit that he messed around with the Ukrainian hooker or whatever it was.
Those are all plants and payoffs too, because they use that little like motif multiple times throughout the movie too, like at key points, and that's just for me. That's just good writing.
Yeah.
Is it real? Maybe, maybe not. But as a story,
it was also to create conflict with Kalki's character as well, to have the other people like, you know, at the beginning planting seeds in her head about what was going to go on this trip.
But I liked the fact that the marriage was bullshit too. I liked it.
No, that was great.
The good writing. It's just editing. It's the visual cinema, because you go back to the first part and you're like, oh wait, why are we back here? And then you're like, he shows them the diamond or the ring, and you're like, okay, we already saw that he proposed to her. Like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
And then you find out the twist. It's worse because they're Indian.
Yeah.
Where it's like, your dad knows that, you know, like the father, the family, this, they're all expecting you to get married.
Exactly.
And
it's
not doing it would probably result.
Not as casual as it would be here. Like you could
just be like, hey man, it was a misunderstanding.
You could get out of it easier here without causing any shame on your family.
Either family.
On either family, yeah. Like, so people would like just not talk about it for a few months, and then you're on Facebook and connect the dots.
Do you think that them not showing the scenes of him, because at the very, very end, for those who haven't seen it, you guys should watch it, but at the very end, you know, they have the whole running with the bull scene, and then they all decide together to not basically be the people that they were before.
Right.
And then the last one to decide this is Kabir, because his conflict was, you don't know this for the majority of the movie, but his conflict was about the marriage.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, I'm going to tell her. And then they run. Like, that's the whole moment. You know, they build a little suspense and blah, blah, blah. But does it disappoint you that they don't actually show that conversation, because they never obviously do, because it just
No.
freeze frame, credits, and then you see Katrina Kaif and Hrithik's wedding, and Coakley's there. She's like there and happy, but they're, you know, they didn't get married. So I don't know. Maybe they never talked about it. I mean, what do you think? Do you think they talked about it and they didn't show it, or they didn't talk about it yet?
Or
he's going through with it.
Maybe he's still going through with it. Yeah. Maybe.
Or they fell in love.
Yeah, maybe
They worked it out.
Yeah.
I think the reality is she's just a good director. Everything I've seen her do so far, same thing. Gully Boy, it's grounded, but you know there's a little bit more music there.
Yeah. Well.
Exactly, for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to see Luck by Chance now. That's the one we reacted to about like the Bollywood.
Right.
Apparently there's
talk about the industry.
Yeah. Apparently there's tons of stars in the movie that just like flow in and out of it because it's supposed to be this real.
Mm-hmm.
So like I want to see that, and to the point now where she might be one of my favorite directors.
Really?
Indian directors.
What would you rate this movie, Daniel?
Like I said, I'm glad I own it, so I'm like at a 9, and I only want to say that because I'm being difficult.
Right.
But this is a good, like this is one of the first times where people said, this goes up there with Three Idiots in terms of like audience recommendations, where they're like, you're gonna love it and watch it, and then I love it for me. So like, I really don't want to rate it, but it's a good movie. Like it's gonna be right in my collection.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking like, okay, if this movie sucks, I'm gonna sell this shit on eBay because it's going for like $25-$30, but no, I'm not gonna sell it. I'm gonna keep it, and it's on Blu-ray, so it looked good. I mean, visually it looked good. Like I was impressed with, and the subtitles are good too. I don't know how Netflix's subtitles were, or Amazon's. You'd have to tell me, but
I like where the placement of them.
No, just like I feel like subtitles are probably different from streaming service to like DVD.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
I'd have to watch it on the Blu-ray.
You'd have to.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I have to watch it on Amazon, but
we could do another video just about the
subtitles
differences in subtitles.
But yeah, like I said, overall, 2 thumbs up for me.
Yeah, no, I liked it. I'm probably a little lower, probably like 8.5-ish, you know. But no, I liked it a lot. It was really good, and yeah, people in the comment section were right.
I mean, it could have went a little deeper. It
was
like a little deeper.
Look, I think.
But if we're talking about mainstream,
I think the good thing about these surface level films is that like you never, when you start going too deep, you risk losing your audience, or you risk
pissing them off.
Exactly.
You risk like starting triggering debates where it's like, well, they didn't do this, or why the hell did this character do that?
Or you risk offending people, which some people, we want to be challenged. Some of us, other people. You know, I'm working.
Kind of made me want to go to Spain.
I'm working. Spain's great, dude. You got to go. I've been there twice. That's my favorite European country by far. Yeah, guys, thanks for recommending this. We finally got around to it. I don't even know when we did the trailer. Make sure to check out our Jordanian playlist. That's up on the screen right there. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Next week's review is Stree. We're going to try to get it.